Hey guys, it's Lando from the Snap Fantasy Football Podcast. Some of you guys are out of the fantasy playoffs now, so you need another way to stay involved with fantasy, and we're talking about DraftKings today. This is a DraftKings lineup for the weekend. Now there's two main slates. We have one on Saturday and one on Sunday. I'm gonna do the Sunday one. It has more games. I could go over the Saturday one a little bit, but if you have specific questions, just send us a DM. We're Snap_Fantasy, and I can help you out with any plays and ones that I like for this week. Number one, I'm gonna go over the quarterback position. So we've got Patrick Mahomes at the number one price quarterback at $7,900. We have Lamar Jackson, who I think is going to be a very popular play at $7,500. They're playing Jacksonville, so it's a really good matchup. Russell Wilson, I'm going to kind of stay away from. Russell Wilson or the Washington football team have a really good pass rush. I don't think the ceiling is super high for Russell this week. Deshaun Watson, Ryan Tannehill, Tom Brady, Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins. So I'm going to go all the way to the bottom here. My favorite quarterback of the week is going to be Mitch Trubisky. He plays the Minnesota Vikings. I think it's a really good spot. He's only $5,500. So you have a lot of savings there. If you're going to go with a high-priced quarterback, I do think Lamar in a chalk spot is the play, and I would play him alone. I wouldn't need to play a Mark Andrews or anyone else for that matter, J.K. Dobbins. We just got word today that Hollywood Brown is on the COVID IR list. Not sure if he's going to play this week, so I'm just going to stay away from him. So Lamar Jackson, I think, is an interesting play, but I'm going to go down to my favorite quarterback, Mitch Trubisky. And you could do one of two ways. You could put him with a Cole Kmet and Allen Robinson. You could play with an Anthony Miller and Allen Robinson. Those are the two kind of plays I would do if you want to go super low-owned way, Cole Kmet and Anthony Miller. But I think you still go with a stud right there. So I'm going to put him with Allen Robinson at $7,400. So then I have that little stack. Not sure yet if I'm going to go with a double stack for this lineup in particular. So there's two ways you could run it back with. You can go with a Dalvin Cook. Great running back, one of the best of the week. Chicago Bears have given it up to the running back from time to time. At the wide receiver position, we have Justin Jefferson at $7,300 and Adam Thielen at $71. Since Adam Thielen had a pretty down week, I don't think he's going to be too highly owned. I'm going to go with Adam Thielen as my run back. For the running back position, we have Derrick Henry against Detroit. That's a really good matchup. Obviously, Dalvin Cook against Chicago. Alvin Kamara against Kansas City. And Drew Brees is questionable to play this week. He has a chance to play. Maybe by the time you listen to this podcast, if he's in there, I think Kamara gets a big boost up. And I think his ownership is going to be fairly low since players with late news kind of don't really bounce back that much, especially in a guy like Kamara with not the easiest matchup. So Jonathan Taylor is in a great spot at $7,200. That's still quite a bit cheaper than Jonathan Taylor, and Houston really can't give it up to anyone. So I love Jonathan Taylor this week. He's a top running back for me, and Jonathan Taylor is going to go in my lineup. Now, Montgomery is an interesting double stack. You don't normally put a quarterback with the running back. I do think Montgomery is going to be fairly highly owned. So this is a way to kind of correlate your lineup against a chalky play like Montgomery. Going down the list, I love Cam Akers as well against the New York Jets and DeAndre Swift right below him. These two guys I really like. They're both in my top 12 running backs this week. But I think Cam Akers does have a little bit more upside. He had an 80% snap share in his last game, and I think that the LA Rams are going to use him like crazy. So here's the start of my lineup. I'm going to go over to defense because I need to save some money and see how much money I have left now. So the Seattle Seahawks, I think, are in a really good spot. We're not sure if Alex Smith is going to play this week. I don't think he will. So that presents a better opportunity for the Seahawks. Their defense has been better lately, so I think Seahawks are going to be my play. If you go down to a lower end option, I could see the Buccaneers being in a good spot as well. The Cardinals are in a good spot as well. Now that I know Jalen Hurts had a great week this past week against the New Orleans Saints, but now that the Cardinals will have some tape on Jalen Hurts, they will learn a lot, and they got the one defensive end for Cardinals got 5 sacks this past week. It was an absolute reckoning there. So I'm gonna go Seahawks though. They're my favorite defense, and I could go Cole Kmet here at the tight end spot. I think that's a pretty sneaky play. Dalton Schultz is okay. And let's see how much Cole Kmet is at the bottom. He's $3,000. That gives me a double stack with Trubisky, like I spoke of. When you're looking at the tight end position, you're looking for targets and potential, touchdown opportunities. Now, Jimmy Graham got the touchdown last week, but I think Cole Kmet's in a good spot. I've got $5,050 for my last 2 remaining spots. For my wide receiver, I'm going to go down the list. We've got some great options. I would love to fit DK Metcalf in this spot, but I will not have the money unless I go down to I can't go to a $2,000 player, so I'm gonna go down as much as I can. I think Godwin is in a good spot to bounce back against Atlanta. Furthermore, I'm not really looking at Marvin Jones Jr. T.Y. Hilton is on a hot streak. I still think he's going to be fairly highly owned against Indianapolis, or against Houston, sorry. And DJ Chark is an interesting play here. I think he had a ton of air yards. He had 9 targets. I think some of the sharps will use DJ Chark. Again, it's going to be hard for me to recommend using Chark, just how bad he's been looking. I do want to give you some options, though, for some low-end wide receivers. Jalen Reagor is in a good spot against Arizona. If Drew Brees comes back, I would look at Emmanuel Sanders. Kendrick Bourne with Deebo Samuel out, I think, is going to be a popular play as well. Keep going down. Josh Reynolds, I don't know really about him. He had a good target share early in the season, but I think it's going to be a Cup Robert Woods show. Lynn Bowden is going to be very chalky at 3,600, and we have to figure out if that's going to be good chalk or bad against New England. He's really their only, I know he's a running back and wide receiver on a lot of platforms, but Lynn Bowden, I'm not sure if I can recommend him because I think he's going to be very highly owned because he was highly added in all of redraft leagues. Now, Anthony Miller here at 3,400 would have been a play if I wasn't going to go with Cole Kmet. And going down this list even further, it's kind of just a little bit of a mess down here. The $3,000 wide receivers are not someone I'm super after. Now, Devin Duvernay with Miles Boykin on the COVID IR list is in play, I think, against Jacksonville, but it's not really correlated lineup for me. I don't need a receiver on a low passing volume offense. That's not really what I go for down here. So I'm going to go back to Chark because this is a tournament. I'm playing in a tournament lineup here. I have $5,100 left. My options are Carlos Hyde, David Johnson, which is interesting versus Indianapolis. Jeff Wilson, who's going to be, I think, pretty highly owned. He was also added in a lot of seasonal leagues. Michael Pittman, not bad. Latavius Murray, Todd Gurley, Russell Gage. No one really here really does much for me. Leonard Fournette might be a highly owned guy at $4,500 now that Ronald Jones is on IR. I do like Michael Pittman, and it'd be going off of a chalk play like T.Y. Hilton. So I doubt he's going to be fairly highly. You know what? But the only thing is I have my guy, Jonathan Taylor. So, man, oh man, this is tough. I would rather almost go up a little bit. George Kittle is questionable, but could play against Dallas. Jeez, this is tough, guys. It's not a super correlated play. I don't love having 2 Colts against Houston. But for now, that's what I'll do. I still have $300 left on the option. So here, if I go without Jonathan Taylor, I could go with Alvin Kamara. I could pivot down to Montgomery. You know what? I'm just going to do it. Here's my lineup, guys. Mitch Trubisky, Cam Akers, Jonathan Taylor, DJ Chark, Allen Robinson, Adam Thielen. And I guess I could go up if I wanted to Jefferson. That would be a higher upside play, but I'm not. I think people will play more Jefferson than Thielen, so I'm just gonna play odds there. I could go with Michael Thomas, but again, I think that would rely on the news of Drew Brees coming back for this tournament play. I've got Michael Pittman as my high upside flex option. I might have to mess this one around, but there's my lineup, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video so far. This is DraftKings. Let me know what your favorite play under $5,000 is for the flex option. All right. Thanks a lot for coming. Subscribe to the channel and like the video. We will talk to you next time. Thanks.